And welcome to the Yule edition of Witchcraft Chats. And come on in and sit for a spell. We are sponsored by Evermoving We Rise and Moonlight Potions and Charms. I am your amazing goddess host, Miss Nikki Kirby, and we are joined by Santa Saul Ravencraft. How are you doing, Santa Saul?
Very good to see you. Happy holidays. Oh my goodness. Yes, it is the season. It is the season. And I'm getting some use out of this so far.
And out the beard too.
Yeah. Now, last year I had to glue stuff on, and this time I was convinced to grow it out, and we'll see if it creates greater opportunity there. Actually, I normally wear a gray wig with this, but I noticed that with my hair cut short, the hat covers everything, so I'm wondering if I need the wig or not. I'll have to give that some thought. I'll run it past my booker, because the wig, I don't know. I think it looks good, but it's also kind of a pain to deal with. Anything you can do without and be more natural is better, in my opinion.
Yeah, because I mean, the wig always makes things a lot more hot. You know, you have to deal with all of that too. Yeah, I'm not much of a wig person.
Well, but you do what's needed for the experience.
Right.
So I'm open to it, and I like the wig, but seeing myself here, it had never occurred to me that I could go without it, because my hair is completely covered. So who knows what's under there?
Well, you also got nothing for the kids to grab except your beard.
There you go. And who doesn't like that? I tell you what, though, I do enjoy doing this. Yesterday, I was working with kids at the Fairmont Hotel, which is a pretty upscale hotel in Austin. Last Friday, they had me there to help shoe in the this was before Byron was on. I was there on that Friday to raise money for the Dell Children's Center, and they took me off to the side. There's a big walkway that goes from the convention center to the hotel, so we hid out over there until it was time, after the tree was lit, and it was time for Santa to make his entrance. And there was a spotlight from the third floor spotlighting me as I walked along the entryway, waving to everybody as I went in to sit down and take pictures. And I enjoy that aspect of the magic. It's a lot of fun to do all of that. And the kids who they're all in. Man, if we could work our personal magic with the confidence and the enthusiasm that a child has seeing Santa Claus, there's nothing we couldn't do.
Right.
It is just such a refresher course in belief to have some children encounter you as Santa Claus. It's just so honest and so open. Uh, I need to remember all that.
Right. Right. Oh yeah. Having the kids doing that and believing in Santa Claus and waiting to be able to see him and everything. But you know what? They never wait to see Mrs. Claus. You know?
Well, it depends on the Mrs. Claus. I've worked with a Mrs. Claus who has a also plays Marilyn Monroe. So there's a lot of enthusiasm for that Mrs. Claus.
Well, she's the one who always has all the goodies.
That's right. She certainly does. She certainly has all the goodies.
Oh yeah, all the chocolate chip cookies and everything. Hell yeah.
Those two. Yes. Yes, those two. Somebody posted there's a place in Austin called El Arroyo, which is a Mexican restaurant, and they post all kinds of crazy stuff on their downtown sign. And they said that the naughty list ought to be published because it could be a great way to meet people.
Well, it depends on what they're naughty about. Too.
Well, I mean, you can. I'm willing to sift through a few. But I've always been cursed with that sort of thing. I don't know what it is about me, but naughty people don't return my calls. There's just something I give off that says I'm too square or not fun enough, I guess.
You're too naughty. See, there's a naughty list, and then there's the too naughty list.
I don't know.
On that
I don't
too
know
naughty
what it
list.
is.
There you go.
I think people just think I'm square. I think that's what it is.
You're too weird.
Yeah, I guess. Well, that's all right.
Yep, that's okay. Right.
Gotta be what you be.
Oh yeah, you gotta be what you gotta be.
Yeah.
Oh, so what are you up to this week other than being Mr. Claus?
Well, there's the Santa thing is going on, and doing some of those. Of course, I'm going to be at Curia Arcanum's House of Curiosities on Thursdays and Sundays through December, except that there's a little bit of holiday conflict going on. So just keep an eye out. If you follow me on Facebook, I always announce when I'm going to be there, so you can double check on that. And there's also my website, saulravencraft.com. There's a calendar there called See Saul. And whenever I've got stuff going on, it's posted on there. That's a good thing to follow. You can add that to your Google Calendar if that's something that you want to see, or just bookmark it if you're not quite so obsessed with me. I can understand if you're not obsessed with me.
Who's not obsessed with you? Come on.
There are those people. It's the people on the naughty list. And as I mentioned, I am going to be doing $20 remote readings. I have a great setup here in my studio for doing readings. There's a way we can see the table and the cards and everything. It's just like sitting across from me, and we're doing half-hour readings for only $20. And I'll admit that sometimes I don't watch the clock, so we sometimes go over half an hour a little bit. But this is a great opportunity if you want to do a reading, if you want to do some other kind of consultation. Had a completely different conversation with someone at Curia Arcanum the other day where we started talking about the nature of spirit after death and different kinds of contact and workings and connection and disconnection and all of that. So whatever it is that you want to do with your time, we'll do it. And it can be a great opportunity for you to get yourself set for the coming new year and to see you through these festivals of light. So please reach out. You can contact me on Facebook, Saul Ravencraft, Executive Occultist. You can go to texasmojoman.com is the best way to reach me for readings. And actually, I need to get that See Saul calendar moved over there because my saulravencraft.com is a little bit more for the more public facing stuff, a little less woo. I mean, I'm always a little woo, but it's more for the people that are sci curious and the people doing the real work. It's texasmojoman.com is where we'll make those connections. Yeah, reach out. Let's see what we can do. And of course, if you're looking to add something weird to your holiday celebrations, either in the Austin area, although I travel, we can certainly do some last minute things. And don't forget that we can also do things remotely. There are plenty of interesting things that I can do on the entertainment side right through this camera. If you want to innovate, we can do something very special for you. So that's what's going on with me. I'm guessing that there's some stuff going on with you and Evermoving We Rise and all that stuff. What's up?
Well, Saul, you can also do your Santa Claus stuff too for the kids.
Absolutely. And for the grown-ups. I think one of my favorite Santa events was a high-end adult corporate party. And ladies were just dressed to the nines, and they wanted to be in Santa's lap. And it's part of the service I provide.
And I know that's a really hard service for you.
It is a hard job, but someone has to do it.
You dirty old Santa. Keep that up, and Santa's going to be on the naughty list.
Oh, dear. Oh, dear.
Well, with Evermoving We Rise, we have decided to put our Yule ritual right now. We're going to have it to be announced. We're not really sure if we're going to actually do it this month or not, considering that I am still in the middle of healing right now. As everybody has realized, I have had surgery a few weeks ago, and I'm still dealing with that healing process. So for right now, we have decided that it will be announced if we're going to decide if we're going to actually do one or not. So stay tuned, and we'll see if we're going to do one. But for right now, we have Moonlight Potions and Charms. We are still an Etsy star seller, which means we have 5-star reviews. And our customers are raving about our excellent products, our amazing service. That means that we actually do talk to our customers. We have great shipping. We ship usually within the 24 hours. Most of the time it's in the same day, or it's usually within the same hour sometimes if I get it right then and there. And we also talk to the customers and see exactly what do they need, what do they want. And so we're very great as far as our service goes. And as Saul is doing his readings for $20, we do have a oracle reading, 1-card oracle reading for $10 by Zoom as well. So you can get in touch with me through the various channels. and be able to do that as well. And then I do want to mention that we do have our healing candle and our healing oil. Now, it has been a while since I've had to do a healing candle for myself. Now, this is not to replace any type of medical practice from your actual doctors or your licensed medical staff. But this is to be able to assist and to be able to help them as far as that goes. And I have made one for myself and for the family to be able to help us through that. And these candles, they actually do help with your physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And it has helped me so much to be able to progress a lot quicker than what I believe would have been a lot harder for me. So the healing candles, they smell absolutely wonderful. And it's just kind of eased my transition a lot more than I think I would have had if it wasn't for the magic that I have put behind the healing, and for everyone else who has helped me along the way. I like to be able to thank them as well. So I want to go ahead and put those out, that we do have those healing candles and that healing oil that you can be able to use. And that healing oil smells absolutely wonderful as well. So make sure that you pick those up. And you can always go to www.moonlightpotionscharms.com or go to our Etsy store, and all that's listed in the summary. And as everybody knows, Witch Hat Chats has gone viral, and we are everywhere now. TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Spotify, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts. We're going everywhere. So subscribe, follow us, like our pages, download our episodes, take us with you. Go to our link tree to find out where we are.
Yes,
but
indeed.
The most exciting things that we have going on now is our Manifestasia 2023 on January 21st to 22nd. And tickets are on sale. So who do we got as presenters, Saul?
We have some wonderful presenters this session. Of course, Byron Ballard, we just talked to her last week, and she's got a lot more to say. She does. Opal Luna, who has one of the craft segments that we're doing today. She is going to be speaking. Emma Catherine, my sci-fi and Doctor Who buddy out of England, is going to be presenting. Star Ravenhawk, always bold, always fresh, is going to be talking to us. And we're looking for a presentation by Sin Elias, who is doing wonders in New Orleans right now. We've got some other speakers that are not quite ready to announce, but it is going to be a fantastic set of sessions because they're going to be a little different this year.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're not just doing the talk at you kinds of things. These are going to be much more hands-on. And you're going to walk away from every single one of these presentations, these witch shops, with something you can do, something you can manifest. And tickets are on sale right now. They are available at witchhatchats.com. An all-access weekend pass is only $64, but there are also sponsorships still available if you would like to help support this. Your sponsorship includes a pass, so you get to enjoy the presentations and enjoy interacting with people, but you also get some commercials run during Witch Hat Chats and made available to everybody who's involved. You're going to get some special highlight time on the stages with as we're preparing for our witch shops. So there's a great opportunity to connect with people and show them that you support Manifestasia and Witch Hat Chats. We have a few sponsors that we'd like to recognize right now. Evermoving We Rise, Douglas Floyd, Victoria Monday, the Kitchen Witch Gourmet, Saul Ravencraft, Executive Occultist, that's me, and Moonlight Potions and Charms, all helping to make this event go. There's room for more, so I encourage you to reach out. You can find information about sponsorship right next to your ticket buttons on witchhatchats.com. I am so looking forward to this event. It's going to be here before you know it. Get your tickets, start getting involved, because there's going to be stuff going on in the Facebook group and outside virtually pretty much as soon as you buy your ticket. So do not hesitate. Yep. You'll miss stuff. Don't wait till the last minute. You're going to miss stuff if you wait till the last minute.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. So make sure you get it now. Tickets are on sale. It'll be a great Yule gift. Awesome. All right. So you want to know what our divination is today?
What is it?
All right. So our tea divination is, so today's tea that I am drinking, I've been drinking this tea for a long time. It's a concoction of mine. A long time ago, my mother bought a box of tea by accident. I asked her to go get me some Earl Grey. Well, she got me a box of green tea Earl Grey, and I loved it. So it's hard to find, as I have said in a couple episodes ago when we were chatting with Janae. So since I've had my surgery, I started drinking a lot more of green tea Earl Grey, because it's helped me a lot with my pain and some other things, some other issues I've had. So that is what I'm drinking today. So our divination is, think of tomorrow, the past can't be mended. Oh, so Santa Saul, what is your perspective on that?
Well, man, that is such a thing, isn't it? I have a friend of mine, and as we've talked about things, I've said that he doesn't seem to have a rear view mirror. He just drives forward. He's had stuff go on in his life. He spent time in Vietnam during the war. He's had stuff, but that's not really what tends to linger in his head. He just kind of lets all of those things be in the past. And he's always looking toward what he's going to innovate, what he's going to do next. He's going to be turning 80 next year. And he is still spry and active and doing a lot of stuff. I help him out with production support on performances that he does. And I think a lot of that is the fact that he doesn't deal with these barnacles of in our path. He doesn't deal with these things. He experiences them. He takes what he can from them. He leaves them where they lay, and he just moves forward. That's hard for me to do. I'll be honest. That's hard for me to do. I teach the idea of doing that. I'm not always good at it. I will, driving along, dwell on woulda, coulda, shoulda, and all of these ridiculous things that are in the past. Nothing can be done about them. Nothing can really be done about them. Everything is forward. And it's, if you can do that, if you can train yourself to leave that stuff where it lays, I think that you have a wonderful manifesting path in front of you because you let go of a lot of those self-imposed limitations. But it is easier said than done, isn't it?
Here's the thing. Before I went into surgery, since I was 9 years old, I have been in extreme pain all of my life. And every time I said something about it, I had some male doctor turn around and tell me that I was imagining it. I had to be seen by a psychiatrist, or if I just moved more, or if I exercised more, or if I did this, or if I did that, or if I drank more water, or if I did this, or something else. It was always something else, because there was no test that they did that came up to say that, yeah, there is something there. And then they will always ask me, well, why are you in pain? Well, like I had a medical degree. Like, excuse me, you're the one who went to damn medical school. You're supposed to tell me why I'm in freaking pain here, right? And then I had my surgery. And I'm going to tell you something. That changed everything in my life. It changed me not only physically, but mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. It changed everything.
Right.
When I woke up, the pain that I felt was not the same pain. It was a different pain. And my doctor turned around and told me, she said, you were right. She said, that was the worst hysterectomy I have ever done in my career. And I was surprised that you were able to walk.
Wow.
She said, now you're still under anesthesia, so we'll talk more later. And she left. But it's not only that has changed. My emotions have changed. My entire health has changed. My spirituality has changed. It's like it's a whole new life. So I am learning how to live all over again. So when they say that think of tomorrow, the past can't be mended, well, I don't want to go back. When I went back, it was good to be validated. It was really wonderful to be validated. And when she showed me this growth that I had, that there's no test that has been developed that can be seen, that this thing can be seen. It has to be seen through exploratory surgery. Okay. And this thing is hereditary for women. So it really pisses me off that women are not told this, and doctors, just particularly male doctors, just push this aside and ignore this. But I have been in so much pain for all these years when I could have been out of pain. And this, number one, I don't have migraines anymore. I mean, this is a big deal. I have no migraines anymore. That depression I had, that's gone. So much has gone. Even the hot flashes that I used to bitch about, those are gone. And if I do have hot flashes, I don't know that they're a hot flash. You know, it's like my doctor was asking if I had hot flashes, and I'm like, is that what a hot flash is? Because the hot flashes that I was having before felt like the earth was on fire. And now if I have a hot flash, I'm just a little warm. You know, it's a major difference. And it's like, whoa, is that a hot flash, really? So it's one of those things where you really can't mend the past. But here's the thing. You forgive yourself, but you don't forget it. There's the thing. When you forgive something, you're forgiving yourself, because we all blame ourselves to a certain degree. And we always play that what if statement. I hate that damn statement. If we had turned right instead of left, we wouldn't be in that situation. If we had wore pants instead of a skirt, we wouldn't have been in that situation. Stop that, Dan. So stop that. What that person did to you is not your fault. Period. End of story. If you said no, that's not your fault. It's on down. You forgive yourself, but you always remember what has happened. So there we go. We want to stop it there.
Well, and what you're describing about your physical experience, I think, is a great reflection of what people experience emotionally. They have this thing that is not correct. It's a wrongness that they've experienced, and it's attached to them emotionally, and people deny it. People come up with ridiculous ways for you to try to ignore it or something like that, and it has to be dealt with. This is where we get into the shadow work, right?
Shadow work. That's still the same.
You can't just not think about that stuff. You have to address it in some way.
Right.
It has to be surgically dealt with, but it's emotional surgery. And sometimes you may need to connect with someone who can believe you and help examine what's going on. You know, it's not, I mean, the spell work and all that, I absolutely believe in that stuff. But there are some times that we're not really fully prepared to execute that spell work correctly, because we're not detached enough, we're not clear enough on it. And that's where psychology and hormonal things and dietary things and all that, we're getting some expertise to help you balance is helpful, and then let your magic work on at full strength. But as long as it's not addressed, it continues to grow and fester and create harm and imbalance. And it's the imbalance it creates skews everything. You cannot perceive things correctly because of this situation that has to be addressed. And so I'm glad that you were able to get the physical help that you need. I am excited about the ways that physical change is also helping you in all of these other areas and creating clarity. But the only way is forward.
Right.
We can't undo anything in the past.
Right.
But we can address it and do what needs to be done. And if you don't do it, you're going to be in pain, and you're not going to be clear, and you're not going to be at your full power. I can't wait to see what happens when you are fully physically recovered here. You're going to be an even madder woman, but in a good way.
And with that, let's go to our sponsors and hear some wonderful messages. Have you wondered what spirituality is? Spirituality is limitless, as it does not contain any boundaries on beliefs or practices. Spirituality's most important component is personal experience and allows one to explore it freely. Evermoving We Rise is a spiritual moving tradition, as our name is our lifestyle, because we are persistently rising and moving forward. We realize that everyone's spiritual journey is extremely personal, but more easily traveled with reinforcement. We'll teach you to become friends with your shadow, emerge your authentic self, and give you time and space to develop your own spirituality. And when situations bump back, you'll have the entire community behind you, as we are a magical family who work to sustain each other. Discover the benefits of working within a society dedicated to helping you grow on your personal path. Visit us on our website, Linktree, or Facebook page and discover why we don't fit in the box. Behind the door, and ye shall find the return of the Barebone Trio. See no evil, hear no evil, and speak no evil, skeletons. This Barebone Trio reminds us not to take life too seriously and shows us the sense of humor we all have. Each one crafted with specific detail and are great for the Day of the Dead, your ancestor altar, Halloween, Samhain, Hecate, and the possibilities are limitless. And there is so much more in our wicked store to help you to embrace the power of your own magic. So come on in to Moonlight Potions and Charms at www.moonlightpotionscharms.com and discover the wicked things that ignite the magical passion in you.
Kitchen Witch Gourmet is a wonderful way to bring the magic of tea into your world. Kitchen Witch Gourmet is your resource for high-quality loose teas, herbal teas, black teas, green teas, and special blends. Need the perfect pot to brew your tea? Kitchen Witch Gourmet has teapots, infusers, and more accessories to make every brew a pleasure. Check out the broom closet for magical tools and custom art for your divine pleasure. Explore the Bath & Body collection for luxurious herbal baths and personal items that will cleanse and clear you head to toe. Join the Tea of the Month Club for a guided monthly tea experience delivered direct to your home or office. Kitchen Witch Gourmet has all you need to perfectly start your day, end your day, and enhance all the moments in between. Behold all the wonders at kitchenwitchgourmet.com. Welcome back to Witch Hat Chats. I am Saul Ravencraft. I am here with Miss Nikki Kirby, and it is everything Yule. I love this time of year. I love it and I hate it. There are things about this time of year that I think are so wonderful and so glorious. There is a point where people are obsessed with beauty. Decorations go up at a level that they don't happen during any other holiday of the year. Can you imagine if every time we hit a significant holiday in the year that it went like this as far as decoration and music and celebration and spirit and all of that? It's pretty extraordinary what happens. And then there's the traffic, and there's how weird people get and how tense people get about everything. And it makes it very difficult it harshes my buzz a little bit about all of it.
It's just like downtown Forest City turns into Little Vegas
Right.
during Christmas. And then they say, well, this is free. You don't pay for it. But yet, our light bill is going to skyrocket during the month. When we get the pay, you get the
Right.
bill
Right.
the next month, it's like triple. But yet we don't pay for it. Mm-hmm. And I mean, they have them on all night long. And I'm like, wait a minute, we need to cut them off at a certain time, because people are not up there all night long. No. And I mean, it's literally like Vegas. You can walk through this town is a block.
Right.
It's not even a California block. It is like a literally a half block long. And you don't even have to have a flashlight at night.
Wow. Yeah.
I'm serious. It's like Vegas walking through it. That's how bright it is. That's how much lights you got on. And I'm one of those type of people, especially since we are in, this energy crisis and everything. Is what I look at. It's really nice for a little bit, but no. I'm one of those. I've always was raised to where you saved energy.
Right.
I can always remember.
I have such a clear memory. There's a street in Austin that for a long time had just these really quirky Christmas decorations. People would do really unusual things. It was very artistic section. And this one house just did all these crazy lights and reshaping lights. They had one strand of lights that had been all done with pill bottles and that kind of thing. It was just very, very creative stuff. And I remember we were walking through into their backyard to see all the lights they had done in the backyard, and we happened to pass their electrical meter. And you know how a meter is usually just going like that. This thing was going whoosh. I had never seen anything like that. It was running crazy. So yeah, I mean, I do see what you're talking about with that. Although one of the nice things that has happened is the LED lighting that has become prevalent uses so much less electricity than all those hot little incandescent lights. And that makes a difference. As far as I know, most people are really starting to use those LED lights, and they don't have nearly the impact that would have been had. So if you're still using the old school lights, yes, they're pretty, but swap those out. The LED lights work really well, and some of them have fun little effects built into them, and if you're a techie person, you can hook them in and do all kinds of crazy light show stuff with them. And they have much, much less impact and give you all the light. So please consider that if you are a light person this year. Of course, I guess we're all light people in our own ways.
Yeah, but I'm always thinking about the lights and untangling them every year and all that other crap. I'm sorry. I just rather have the tree that has the lights on it.
There you go.
Actually, my best tree is a cardboard tree that you just take it and you put it on the wall. There you go. You put it on the wall. That way, all you got to do is just take it off the wall.
There you
and
go.
You put it up.
Well, and there's no right way, there's no wrong way with any of this kind of stuff. I think that's one of the things that is really important to remember is there's no one way you're supposed to feel during this season. There's no one way everything is supposed to look or be. I One of our traditions is we love that movie, A Christmas Story, by directed by Bob Clark,
Oh my
about the
God, they run
kid that
that thing
wanted the.
24 hours
Oh
on
yeah, well you only
channel.
have to watch one of them, or at
Jesus
least we do.
Christ.
The fun thing is that Bob Clark is the same guy that directed Black Christmas, which is about a serial killer in a sorority house. Uh,
Oh, do you know they did another one
we watched that
like
recently
20
and
years
we
later.
thoroughly enjoyed it. It really was a fantastic follow-up. It's about Ralphie has grown up, he's got kids of his own, and he's going to go celebrate Christmas at home. The old man, Christmas was a big time for him,
Hmm.
but the old man passes away. And suddenly the keeping of Christmas falls on Ralphie's shoulders. And he's struggling in a lot of ways and trying to figure out how to make all this work. And several of the cast members return. The storytelling is terrific. There's lots of great slapstick comedy like the first one. There's lots of great fantasy scenes in Ralphie's head. And we enjoyed it. We absolutely enjoyed it. We thought it was incredibly well done. It was a great homage to the original, but it took it further. And if you enjoyed the first one, the second one, they did something weird. You can ignore all that, but this one is terrific. So I recommend it. I enjoyed it quite a bit, and we laughed out loud. And that's the kind of joy that you want.
Yeah, and a lot of people are returning to Krampus now. They're watching a lot of Krampus movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I shared that picture with you of a German holiday card that showed a woman Krampus that went after bad men.
Yeah, and I think last night, as I was going through horror movies on Tubi, they had a Christmas Carol, the horror film.
Right.
And so I'm like, of course, they have like 100. A Christmas Carol was the only movie I really liked that was Christmassy because it had ghosts in it. Okay,
Right.
of course, right? So I'm going to go and probably watch that one because I'm like, there's like 1,000 different versions of a Christmas Carol, right? And I'm like, we need another one. But I've never seen a horror film version.
Yeah, I haven't either. I'll have to check that out. My favorite version of A Christmas Carol in film is it's the old British version with Alistair Sims. And it's not big on fancy special effects or anything like that. It's a simple telling of the story. I think his acting is wonderful. And I think it tells the story well. But I think A Christmas Carol is a very good thing to center ourselves around during this season, because it gets to the heart of things. It gets to the heart of being all closed in to yourself and dwelling on tragedies and not letting your light shine out, not letting things manifest, and the transformation that can occur when you let that stuff go and you reconnect with humanity, you reconnect with the divine, and you move into a manifesting mode. Right. Scrooge was not in a manifesting mode. He was the Four of Pentacles. He was that guy sitting there holding all his wealth and being wary and afraid of everyone and everything. Even though he was a very powerful man, he was a very fearful man.
Mm-hmm.
And the light came to him through these ghosts that demonstrated he did shadow work in his dreams. Right?
Right.
These ghosts came and they showed him where he was dwelling and where he was closed and what he was missing. And when he came out of that, he experienced this joy and this potential, and he got busy and he made changes.
Mm-hmm.
And he began to be a force of light for the
Right.
people he was connected with. And you know, that is just that's a great message. And yes, it is viewed through a bit of a Christian lens because of the time in which it was written, but the lens is very thin there.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, I think, is a beautiful expression of how we should be able to experience this season. And it's not about obligations. It's really not about obligations. It's about celebrations. And those can be done elaborately. If you can do that, bless your heart. I hope you're including people who can't. But if you can't do that, there are so many simple ways to open yourself to this season, because it is a season of transformation.
It is. It is. So why don't you go ahead and say your poem that you always
I love to do a poem when we do things dealing with the Wheel of the Year. This is not an old poem. This is a fairly new one. I believe it was written in 2014. The poet's name is Jacqueline Nash, and we have a link to her site in our notes, so be sure you check out all of her wonderful work. But this one really spoke to me, and it's not too long, so that'll be good for you too. It's called Winter Solstice, Yule. On this cold, dark winter solstice day, we await the birth of the sun to take us into longer days with more light for everyone. From this, the shortest day of the year, is the promise of hope and light. The wheel, ever turning onwards, takes us through the longest night. In between the end and the beginning, the sun stands still, it would appear, before its return northwards and the start of a bright new year. This hits into a lot of interesting things. One, I love the fact that they say that we await the birth of the sun, but it's spelled S-U-N, not S-O-N. And the Christmas season has borrowed that phrase. That's exactly what they're doing. They are looking for the birth of the sun, S-O-N. It's the same thing. It is the light moving forward. It is coming out of the darkness and moving into the light. It's the longest night of the year. It's the shortest day of the year. If you're someone that gets depressed with night, it's a long, hard one. And yet, the very next day, everything begins to transform and the day begins to lengthen. Immediately, it begins to lengthen. I also like the way that she talks about the sun appearing to stand still, which is a physics thing, right? We're coming up on the sun. We're coming up on it. It's coming towards us. It's coming toward us. And then we hit the top of that curve. And the sun appears to stand still before it begins to move as our path changes. It apparently moves. It moves relative to us. And there is something really fascinating in here in that moment as we overtake it in our arc. There's a lot of fun stuff for that. And you'll be able to read and reread that poem. We'll include a link to that. I also like at the end where she says, in between the end and the beginning, right? We always think about in between the beginning and the end. That's the way we're used to this. But this is the end of the darkness and the beginning of the light. And so in that moment where the darkness ends and that light begins, it's a reminder of the transformation that is going on here. So I really appreciate Jacqueline Nash for making this poem available for her creation and putting it on the internet so that I could find it and share it with you. It is a true gift to be able to have this available.
Mm-hmm. I like it too. And the way she said things.
Outside of the tree, your cardboard tree, and some of the lights, are there any of the other things, any of the other symbols or aspects of Yule that really connect with you? I like the feasting. I'll admit that. I'm big on the feasting.
I like the feasting when me and my mother don't have to cook it.
I understand that.
Oh yeah, when we don't have to cook it. So
I tell you though, sometimes I really enjoy cooking and having the opportunity to do something a little special, a little different.
see, men say that because they don't cook all the time. When you cook all the time and you hate to cook, it's a different story. And when you're cooking all the time and then you're having to clean up, or then you have a man to come in and he cooks and he doesn't clean up and he messes up. What is it about men? And I'm going to ask you this question, that they have to use every single pot in the kitchen. It doesn't matter what it is. They have to use every single pot in the kitchen for some reason. What is that?
I guess it depends on technique. You can just zap a lasagna in the microwave and that's easy. But like last night I cooked spaghetti. I had a sort of a day off and my wife was going to cook spaghetti, and so I told her, well, I can cook spaghetti. But I did it my way. And so I started out by roasting some onions and peppers and garlic in our little toaster oven, and sautéed up some mushrooms and tomato to go with the sauce, and some of that. And I think it was worth it, but you can't just zap that together. Now she enjoyed the meal, and I was washing pots this morning, so maybe you don't know everything, Miss Nikki.
See, when I cook spaghetti, I have the sauce and my meat sauce and stuff like that, even though I rarely cook spaghetti. But
Sure.
I know men who go out, and it's like every single pot and pan they have to dirty somehow, and they don't use them all. They don't use all that stuff. They just dirty it. And it's like, what the hell?
Well, I can't speak for every man. I can only talk about what I do. But sometimes when you're cooking, you gotta not everything's a casserole, and yeah,
Well, if you
meat's got to
clean
be
up as you
browned and
cook,
anchovies
you
got
don't
to
have
be
to do that
warmed.
much cleaning up. All right.
Perhaps there is not just one way.
Yes, it's called cleaning as you cook.
Well, I suppose that it is time for us to hear from our wonderful sponsors, including a few of our Manifestasia sponsors. We'll be right back with more Yule talk between me and Miss Nikki Kirby here on Witch Hat Chats. I'm Saul Ravencraft, co-host of Witch Hat Chats. I understand just how confusing and chaotic it can be to open to a path of magic and manifestation. Everything seems to turn on its head. I want to be an ally as you find the way upon your path. My studio setup will let us do readings, coaching, and exploration virtually, just as though you were sitting across the table from me. One size does not fit all, and we will work together to craft the right approaches to build your practice, your confidence, and your power using the tools of divination, magical works, and spirit connections. It's never too late to embrace a new path and emerge empowered. Go to texasmojoman.com and select Contact to begin. There's a message now. Let's get started working on your very good fortune.
Are you drawn to the shadowy path of the paranormal? Is spending the night in a haunted house your idea of fun? Then you will love Victoria Monday's Paranormal Activities. Paranormal explorer Victoria Monday has created 6 volumes of fun for those who are truly spooky at heart. Each book is filled with pages and pages of creepy coloring sheets, preternatural puzzles, weird word searches, and more surprises to keep little hands and heads busy. Older kids at heart enjoy them too. Collect the whole set and experience hours of frightening fun. Victoria Monday's Paranormal Activities are available through Amazon. Order now.
And welcome back to Witch Chat Chats. And Saul and I are chatting about Yule and so much
indeed.
more.
Yes, indeed.
All right. And our friend, Opal Luna, has generously decided to help us with our Yule craft, and she is going to show us how to do a Yule candle. Woo! So let's go ahead and roll that video.
Fiber magic.
Merry meet, fiber magicians. I'm Opal Luna, the author of Fiber Magic, a witch's guide to spell casting with crochet, knotwork, and weaving. Welcome to another Fiber Magic moment. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Yule. Yule is when we celebrate the shortest day of the year. And why would we do that? Because from this point on, it only gets brighter, and that's definitely something to celebrate. Most spiritual paths celebrate the occasion with some sort of candle or fire to encourage the sun to come back to us. I've developed this little candle holder here. Now this is just for LED battery powered little candles like this, because once again I'm going to tell you, yarn and flame do not mix, but these are quite nice and shine quite brightly, and these little decorations look good sitting like this on your altar or hanging from a Yule tree. There's two different ways to do it. You can either make the snowflake or the poinsettia. And I'm going to show you how to make it right now. Going to start with a slip stitch, of course. And we're using 4-ply yarn and an H hook. You're going to chain 3. All right. Now in that third chain from the hook, you're going to put 12 double crochets. It seems like a lot of double crochets to put into one stitch, but if you squeeze them in there good, it'll work. And what will happen is you will start working around, see, and forming a circle. And you can go over your end a little bit, but make sure you keep that little end sticking out, because you're going to want to pull on it and tighten up this hole. See how many I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times 2, 6. That makes 12. All right. Now when I pull this end, see, the center is going to tighten up just like that. And I'll slip stitch into that first double crochet that I made, and I'll have a perfect little circle. That's where your bottom of your light sits. Now we want to make a little cup, see? And the way we turn corners when we crochet, chain 1 for your height, and then put half double crochets all the way around, but only in that back loop. See how you got the V here? Just in the back loop. And what happens is it makes a bend like this, and it's gonna bend up and cup up. We just put 1 stitch in each stitch around, so we're not increasing stitches. We're just building that little side up all the way around, and that will hold our candle. So that's 12 stitches also. And when you get back to this end, you can weave that in later. Then you do a slip stitch into that first half double that you made, and put it right side out. And now you've got this little cup. Now just to make it finished off, then I did a reverse single crochet all the way around. Yeah. So by the rules of fiber magic, we have used the double crochet, which is air. We've used the half double crochet, which is fire. And now we're using a single crochet, which is water. So this will be very elemental. And of course we used slip stitches for earth. Oops, the original chain 3 and the slip stitches represent the earth. So this little cup represents all 4 elements. Very nice. Let's cut, fasten off. Very good. We got another one of these little cups. I'm going to make quite a few of these to hang on my tree. All right. So now, if you look at the bottom, you see that you have these loops that were not used, right? Now, if you're going to make the poinsettia, you're going to start with the red. Let me get my red yarn. Okay, make your slip stitch. Helps if you use the hooky side of the hook. All right, and then go right into any one of those free loops and attach your yarn. Okay, so now here's the pattern for each petal. Chain 3, double crochet in the same stitch. Now you're going to make a picot or a point. The easiest way to do that is to chain 3 and slip stitch in the 3rd chain from the hook. Then in the very next open loop, you're going to do a double crochet, chain 2, and put a slip stitch down into that same loop. And then you slip stitch into the next loop. And you start again. I'll do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, double crochet, picot, in the next loop, double crochet, chain 2, slip stitch, and slip stitch into the next free loop. See that? Now you do that all the way around and you've got this nice little flower. But to make it look more like a poinsettia, then you put the green around it. And the green ones are a little bit bigger. I'll show you. Make your slip knot. Very good. I'm going to have to make all these little ones now. Okay. So now you've got this, right? Now look at the back, and you can kind of see where the loops were. We're going to try to use those loops again, but from the back. And we're going to try to make the green go between the red. So we'll start out in the loop that's in the center of any one of these red petals. Okay, so you just get in there, attach it, and on the green petals, or leaves, poinsettia is all leaves really, some are red and some are green, we're going to chain 3, double crochet, then triple crochet, which is yarn over twice, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, then do our picot, which makes the green part just a little bit bigger than the red part and stick out just a little bit more. And then in the next place where you find a loop, try to get it like between the two red petals. Just stick it in there wherever you see some yellow. We're going to do a triple crochet, a double crochet, chain 2, and slip stitch into that same stitch, right? And then you're going to come over and slip stitch again in the center of the red petal. See that? So now the green petal is kind of off kilter with the red petals. Kind of sticks through like that. I'll do it one more time. 1, 2, 3, double crochet, and then triple crochet in the same stitch. Picot, and then in the next place, which will be right between those two petals, triple crochet. Takes a little minute to find it, but it's well worth it. There we go. Double crochet. Once you've found the stitch, then it's easy to get into the second time. Chain 2, slip stitch, all in that same loop, and then come back, slip stitch, so that you're in the center of the red petal. There we go. Just find a little yellow loop. Just like that. So now you've got this yellow center with the red leaves and the green leaves. Little off kilter, just enough so you can see it, kind of like a real poinsettia would be. And that the same pattern that we use for the green, if you just do that all in white, and look, it has a little sparkle to it. This one has a little sparkle to it, if you can see it. I did the chain 3, double crochet, triple crochet, picot, triple crochet, double crochet, chain 2, slip stitch in the next one, all the way around, and then that one is just like a snowflake. And you can turn on your little light, and that can sit on the table, you know, or it can hang on the tree. And I think that's a nice little addition to your Yule celebration. A nice little encouragement to the sun to come back to us. Oh, imagine a Yule log, huh? And you could make 3 of these and sit them on the Yule log. I think I'm going to do that. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much for playing with me today. I hope you have a blessed Yule. Many, many, many blessings for you and your family, and a lot of fun. Get together. We're gonna have a Yule ritual, and we're gonna also have a wassail with a Krampus run. So we have a lot of things happening in the next couple of weeks, and I wish you all a very, very blessed Yule, and above all, stay crafty. Bye-bye.
All right. And that was cool, wasn't it, Saul?
She makes it look easy, and I know that the stuff that she shares with us is easy. Once you know a few things. I have yet to learn knitting or crocheting or anything like that. I do a little sewing, but that's not the same thing. But I love the energy she puts into those things. I love the innovation she puts into those things. And I am so so thrilled that she takes the time to share that stuff with us. We're genuinely appreciative.
Yes, and she's a lot better at it than I am.
Well, practice, 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 practice.
And like I told her, I mean, me and her actually shared a room at Mystic South. And I told her, I said, you're more interested in that than what I am. So.
Well, it's like anything that you get into it and it moves toward your center, and you put that passion into it, and she definitely does.
Right. And her book, Fiber Magic, does show you how to do that. And if you have any questions, you can always go to her website and ask her.
Yeah, she's a sweetheart.
She is. Very much so. All right. So we are talking about Yule, and we're talking about the Krampus. I wonder if the Grinch is related to Krampus.
Well, I think as an idea, he certainly is. But Krampus was not so much about spoiling the celebration. Krampus goes after the people that are not engaged in the celebration. So Krampus would go after the Grinch.
Okay, as long as he leaves the little dog alone, then we're cool.
Yeah.
He's got to leave the little dog alone. He can't mess with the little dog.
Max is so cute. Well, and one of my favorite things about, I mean, the book is classic, but what I grew up with was the Chuck Jones cartoon, the animation, The Grinch Who Stole Christmas, which was narrated by Boris Karloff, the great horror actor. And he recorded that as something for his grandchildren, because a lot of the things he was known for were not necessarily things that he could comfortably share with little kids. And so he narrated this so beautifully, and I can't really, I've heard other people read it, and none of them get anywhere close to just that beautiful narration that Boris Karloff did. He was such a sweet man. He was known for being pretty horrific, but he really was a sweet man. And I love to hear him read it. I just love to hear, whether there's the animation or not, there's some audio recordings that you can get hold of that just are pulled out of the video, and his telling of that story and all of the things he does are just too much fun. So yeah, and if you think about it, the Grinch is another redemption tale along the lines of Scrooge, although just a little bit more materialistic.
Yeah.
Just a little bit more.
Dr. Seuss's books, it's hard to get 2 hours out of 10 pages that they have, maybe.
Right.
And I'm like, you've made up half that crap. I'm serious.
Well, a lot of the movies do struggle with that. Yeah. And that's, yeah. But the lovely little 30-minute musical animation, I think.
Yeah, that one.
Does it spot on.
I like the little dog. Yes, it was the little dog I loved. He was cute. I admit that. Oh. But no, they're talking more and more here lately about Krampus, and it's only been in the last, 10 years that I've seen it more and more here lately. And they show them in horror movies, and I've seen them even on popular television. Like I think I saw them a couple years ago in a battle with Santa Claus, and Santa just kicked his ass across the damn thing. It was hilarious.
Which is a complete misinterpretation of the legend.
I know, but it
but
was
that's
still
okay. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was still hilarious. Just like, way back when I was just beginning college, and this tells you how old it is. South Park was not really on television. This is right before they became on television because it was on the internet. And this is where Jesus Christ versus Santa Claus episode came on, one you can't find anymore. I remember that one.
Well, that was essentially their pilot as they were creating it. Yeah. And so it's not part of the official South Park episodes. But that's a fun one. What would Brian Boitano do?
Yeah. I remember it went around the campus for a long, long time. And then after that, that's when the official South Park started on actual television, on Comedy Central. So, I remember all that kind of stuff. But this thing with Krampus here lately, it's just like you have a lot of popular television coming in and talking about him grabbing these kids off of the streets, just random kids off the streets and stuff.
Well, and I think it's a little bit of a shame of the twist. I mean, it's fun that there is a sort of a Christmas monster that's available, that's holiday canon. But I do wish that people would dig a little bit more into the myths and recognize what's going on there. Because the whole concept of Krampus was to go after those that were not doing what was right. Mm-hmm. And this is pre-Christian lore. So what was right was not necessarily what you're going to see on Sunday morning in some places. But it was basically about kids that were not respectful. It was about kids that were not doing what they were told, and I guess not necessarily just kids, but it was going after the people that were not being a part of the community, and not contributing, and not being not respecting others, which. I think that's something that fits pretty well into any society. Society only works if we respect each other, and allow for proper boundaries. Another aspect of Yule that we don't tend to think about. Again, something that was not invented by people who created Christmas. But the idea of gift giving, the idea of sharing, this all comes up on the heels of the harvest. So it's a time where theoretically we're kind of flush. We got food, some of which is not going to keep. And so we got to do something about that. We may have sold some of our harvest and had some surplus there, and so we got a little extra pocket money, and now we can buy things for each other. So that generosity is there, that social sharing is there, charity is there, giving to those who have not, and receiving. Gosh, that's the other side of it that is so important. All right. It is great when we are flush and we got all our our extra money, and we can go and give that money to people who need it. But I tell you what, if you're someone who needs it, if you are someone on the opposite end of that, there is absolutely no shame in accepting that from people who are willing to give it. I was reading another Harry Dresden novel, Consulting Wizard in Chicago. I love these books. And he's talking to a guy about something that he was involved with that he's feeling some guilt over. They agreed that there wasn't a choice and that this had to be done. But at the same time, he's feeling, gosh, if I was only smarter or faster or stronger or something, I could have found another way. And the person he's talking to says, well, what goes around comes around. And he said, yeah, I understand that. He said, and sometimes you're what goes around, and sometimes you may be what comes around. That the universe may have accessed you as a tool for what was needed there. And that's not about predestination or anything like that. It just says that we have cycles that we go through. Mm-hmm. We have ebb and we have flow. And we get all into the flow, but we chicken out on the ebbs. And there are points, I mean, you love to give to people when they need it. You love to share that energy. You love to manifest for people that need it. Why in the world would you deprive someone of that when you are in need?
A lot of that is based on pride.
Right.
Because I was brought up to where you don't ask for anything. You make it on your own, period. Basically, if you ask for something, you're showing your weakness. And when you show weakness, that's a sign of people coming after you and attacking you. That is the way I grew up. So it was really hard for me when I was living on the streets, because I wasn't asking for charity. I wasn't asking for help. I wasn't asking for anything. And so for me to even go and ask for food stamps, to ask for help to get housing, to get anything, it took a real lot for me to be able to do that. It took a whole mind change to be able to do that. Because when you are raised that way, I mean, being in the South, we are a very, very proud people. And when we're raised that way, it took years. It took a lot of hard times for me to be able to do that, because I was working. It wasn't like I wasn't working, but I wasn't making enough to be able to get food and shelter and everything that I need. And I couldn't get another job to be able to make enough. I couldn't work 3 or 4 jobs to be able to do that. Because the thing about it is, what people don't realize is, depending on where you live, you may have to work 3 or 4 jobs to get that minimum wage of being able to live just basically. Right? So living
and this goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning.
Right.
Is when you are not set, when you don't have your resource, when you don't have your energy, you're not clear. You're not really in a good position to put your energy out there. And in those times, we need help. We need other people who are clear to help us to do the shadow work that's necessary. And to help open that path up so that we can be full manifesting beings.
That's right.
You know, you can't run a good race if your leg is half sawn off and you're trailing blood down the course,
Well,
right? You need
it's
a
not that you
bandage.
can't run a good race, is that it's more difficult to run that good race.
But it's not sustainable. You know, you're going to bleed out
It's
on
not
that path.
impossible. Okay,
That's right.
but you can probably do
Well,
that.
eventually
It's
you're
not
going to pass
impossible.
out. You're going to pass out.
It
You're not going
depends
to
on
finish
how
that
quickly
race.
you pass out, and depends on how, like I said, it depends on a lot of factors.
Take the bandage.
All right.
Take the bandage. You got nothing to prove.
With that, we are going to take a quick break and listen to all of our wonderful sponsors that we have. And we will be right back and discuss some more stuff about Yule. The witching hour is here, and new magical products arrive at Moonlight Potions and Charms. And what appears during the magical hour? Our mysterious triple goddess Hecate key necklace comes in 2 sizes, perfectly aligned with her will, so her devotees can find their way through the darkness. The handsome hand of God statues, believed to be protective talismans of luck, fertility, abundance, and good health, come in black or white. One of the best ways to bring your ancestors with you no matter where you go is our traveling ancestor altar on the go. They come in 3 sizes, small, medium, and large, perfect for all of your needs. They include candles, an oil, a toy for the little ones who passed on, and so much more to honor their beloved dead. And our Papa Legba key necklace are perfect for the devotees of the King of the Crossroads. It comes in 2 sizes, each one specifically prayed over and dedicated to Papa Legba himself. And appearing for the first time, Baron Sam D and Mama Gray J, Altar on the Go limited edition. Yes, you can take your altar to the cemetery with you. How cool is that? The traveling altar is complete with top hats, coffin nails, a cross from Mama Bridget, and so much more with room for you to add your own items. So show Baron Sam D and Mama Bridget the altar perfect for them. And don't forget, our bare bone trio, See No Evil, Hear No Evil, Speak No Evil, Skeletons, have returned. There is so much more in our wicked store to help you to embrace the power of your own magic. So come on in to Moonlight Potions and Charms at www.moonlightpotionscharms.com and discover the wicked things that ignite the magical passion in you. Anybody can tell you what is on a tarot or oracle card. What matters is seeing beyond what others may not be able to see and help the client to uncover what lies in the mist. What do readings from Moonlight Potions and Charms do? Wednesday, I did this ancestor reading, and it was an amazing reading. And it was a detailed reading. And I remember talking to this customer's ancestors, and it was so delightful, and he wanted some questions to be answered about the magic in his family because he didn't know. And his family was mostly like most of our families are. You know how everything is like hush hush when it comes to the magic in his family. And he wanted to know who can he actually talk to about the history of the magic in his family. And I was able to give him specifically who he can go to talk to about that. What particular deity he can actually go to be able to help him with this. And it was just an amazing reading and talking to his ancestors. They were such a delight, and they told me so much about this customer. It was just an absolutely wonderful, wonderful reading for him. And I was just so happy to be able to give him this wonderful reading. It's really amazing to be able to give people these readings, these products that's really going to help them, and be able to give back to the community, because this is what Moonlight Potions and Charms is about. We want to help you to embrace the power of your own magic. That is what we are all about. It's to help you to do that. Book now and allow our wonderful staff to take care of your spiritual reading needs. And there is so much more in our Wicked store to help you to embrace the power of your own magic. So come on in to Moonlight Potions and Charms at www.moonlightpotionscharms.com and discover the wicked things that ignite the magical passion in you.
And welcome back to Witch Hat Chats. Miss Nikki and I, Saul Ravencraft, are talking Yule and celebrating Yule and thinking about how to embrace the return of the light, the rebirth of the sun, as we move forward and we get stuff done and we heal and we grow and we leave that other stuff behind us. And it's a brand new day.
It's a brand new day. Yes, it is.
It is.
All right, so let's get some divination on, shall we?
Let's do it. Get it on.
All right, so we're going to pick 3 cards. So, Saul, I need a number between 1 and 13.
10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, give me another number between 1 and 13.
3.
1, 2, and 3. Another number between 1 and 13.
8.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. All right. So what I'm calling this is the shedding of the snake. I am using the Animal Dreaming Oracle. It's by Scott Alexander King. You can
Very nice.
find the where you can get it off of Amazon in the summary. So your first, involves shadow work. Yes, it does. Your first card is going to be the card that is the first skin that you will throw off. And that is, the Tasmanian Devil. Isn't he cute?
He is
A
cute.
cute little bugger. Yes, he is. I like him. He's a cute little guy. All right. And so, like I said, with Oracle cards, I always read what the artist and the person wants you to understand about it first before I give you my divination on that. So the Tasmanian Devil means purification. The generic name of the Tasmanian Devil is, of course, they give you the damn scientific name, which I can't pronounce, which is whatever, no matter what, it means flesh lover. Indicating that it is a carnivorous dietary preference. It means it eats meat. Why can't he just say it eats meat? There we go. Meat is what nourishes the Tasmanian Devil. It instinctively knows that meat is the only fare that will supply it with the strength and endurance to fulfill its duty to Mother Earth. Choosing the life of this humble yet cankerous recluse, however, the Tasmanian devil is a very shy creature that prefers to feed on a canyon and roadkill rather than relying on its skills as a capable hunter. Thus, the Tasmanian devil is seen as a cleaner, the one whose sole responsibility it is to ensure that the deceased are returned to Mother Earth as efficiently as possible, minimizing the risk of contamination of the land and waterways. The Tasmanian devil teaches us to purify our lives, to honor our bodies, and to exercise all that is corrupt in our systems, eating all that is wholesome, drinking all that is pure, and honoring our bodies by regularly exercising and getting adequate rest are all the lessons afforded by the Tasmanian devil, as it is only doing what is right for us while avoiding the propensities to base our decisions on what others may do, prefer, or expect. Tasmanian devils are famous for their powerful jaws and crushing bites. Tasmanian devils teach us to honor ourselves on a communication level. Therefore, by using the vice-like power of its jaws to speak with vice-like force, or, when appropriate, with gentle humility, he validates the art of cutting through pretense to get directly to the heart of the matter, thus purifying our relationships of dishonesty and mistrust. If the Tasmanian devil has scarfed its way into your cards today, you are being prompted to purify some aspect of your life. The cleansing process purifies by the appearance of the Tasmanian devil can be a tender and healing as you like, or equally as gruesome and devastating. It all depends on how it approached or whether or not it is handled in a sacred manner. To remove all that is stagnant in your life is to realize the fertility that comes with release, liberation, and freedom. It is strength, your foundation, and to nourish your desire to expand. You know, these creatures, I've seen these creatures on TV. They're so little. I mean, they are little things. And they're so cute. But man, you don't want to fuck with them. I tell you. When it comes to our lives, we tend to protect others, most of us.
Mm-hmm.
We always say, okay, you can mess with us, but you can't mess with my family.
Right.
And we always put ourselves in front of others, but we rarely try to protect ourselves. Here is the thing. We need to start taking care of ourselves first before we can take care of anybody else. Like, for example, it's been really hard on me because I've been through a major surgery. So I can't do the things to take care of my mom that I'm used to doing because I've been through major surgery. So I can't lift anything that's over 6 pounds. I can't do that. I can't lift my dog, my Daisy dog. I can't lift her. I can't lift a gallon of milk. I'm not supposed to do that. I'm not supposed to do a whole lot of things that I have done. I'm not supposed to walk all over Walmart. I can't do that. It's a lot of things that I'm learning that I'm not supposed to be doing,
Right.
because I'm supposed to be taking care of myself, because my body's in a process of healing and purifying itself. So when you're in a process of purifying, you need to stop and let the purification to occur. And I know a lot of us don't want to do it because we want to go ahead and get it over with. And another thing, people don't like change. Whoa, boy, that's a a knocker. How many times have I said that? We don't like change. Whoa. But it's something that has to be done. In order for us to make a way for the new, and this is a Yule thing too, we have to get rid of what is old, purify that point, and make way for the new. It's just like whenever you get a cut, you have to put alcohol and scrub that cut before you can put any antibiotic on it or anything on it to start the healing process, because it needs to be cleansed, it needs to be purified. So make sure that you're purifying yourself as you're starting your shadow work. All right. So your second one is a well, a killer well, to be exact. So let's see what they say about that. All right, so this is a record keeper. There are many tales of heroes being swallowed by whales in their quest for enlightenment. Their descent into the creature's belly often represents man's spiral into the underworld and their inevitable reemergence after certain tests are passed. The journey enables them of sacred rebirth and retrieval of the human spirit. Whales ask us to remember the earth as our mother and to reconnect with her and the soul connection we forge at the beginning of time. Whale is a keeper of the Mother Earth sacred records. She witnesses the proceedings that collectively authenticate the spiritual makeup of the earth. The memories of each and every event that she has ever had and will ever contribute to her shaping the stories and stores them within her dreaming. Whales help us to remember the spiritual history of the areas most significant to our personal journeys and offer ways to enhance our medicine, our lives, and the planet as a whole. It is believed that many people who work with the whale hold within their DNA the ability to comprehend the sound frequencies encoded in the audible rhythms and vibrations emitted by the great mammal. The throbbing and meditative songs of the whale offers is a chance to reconnect with the universal consciousness and the heartbeat of the Mother Earth, which is the resemblance of the double heartbeat we all heard as we grew into our mother's wombs. If the whale has sunk her way into your cards today, the vaults of creation have been opened to you, offering access to the sacred knowledge stored within. Whale is journeying with you, guiding you to the deep core rhythms of nature and your instinctively connection to the cycles of life. She is helping you to remember your personal truth, wisdom, and how to reconnect to the heartbeat of the Universal Mother. Whale wants you to rebirth your emotional body and to retrieve yourself physically by tapping into the knowledge of your own genetic memory and personal rhythm. In doing so, you will remember the sacred bond you share with all things, and you will ultimately find the knowledge to heal yourself and your family. You will even glean insight into how the rest of humanity will follow suit. Oh, these are the ones that are like we're in Star Trek. You know, George and Gracie. uh, you know, with these are mammals. These are not fish. Okay. Mammals are like us. The thing about it is, when it comes to us, they are warm-blooded, just like us. And you know, they dream. Yeah, they actually dream. I don't know what they dream about, but they actually do dream. The thing about the whale is that a whale can be able to guide you. And they use the element of water. And with water is very creative. And you do want to go and find your own personal rhythm. Because once you be able to find your rhythm, you can be able to find anything that is your own personal, like, soul. And it helps you to find your abilities. It helps you to find your magical aspect, if that is something that you're looking for. Like, I know a lot of people say, oh, I don't know who I am, or I don't know what I can tell people. Like, if I'm looking for a job and I'm trying to tell them, they ask me the question, like, tell me about yourself, and they don't know what to say. Well, this is a way of being able to say it. When you find your own rhythm, you can be able to tell them exactly this and this and this and this and this. This is what is unique about me. They can help you find that. They can also help you to be able to overcome any type of negative things that has happened to you. And they can be able to make it easier for you. Not to say it's going to be, oh, it's so easy. Honey, it's never going to be easy. But it's going to be a little bit easier to be able to help you, because they are like a sister or a brother to you. A good one, not the mean little shits, you know, that have been around, but the good ones. Okay. So they'll be able to help you through that process. So when it says the record keeper, they're the ones that actually will know which direction for you to be able to go in, and they will be able to help you when it comes to your shadow work. To help you get through it.
Sure.
Because you don't get over anything, you get through it.
Right.
All right, so here's the last card, and this is breaking through. Okay, this is coming out of it. It's going into the light right now. Okay, and he's cute. He's a platypus. Say that fast 3 times. Platypus. Right? All right, so 24. Platypus is a woman's wisdom. According to the Aboriginal legend, the platypus was born from a forbidden coupling of 2 souls, joined by an unlawful union. Out of vengeance of their reprehensible behavior, The elders transformed her into a duck and him into a water rat. They were then exiled indefinitely from their respective clans. She inevitably produced an egg, from which was hatched a strange, furry, duck-billed creature equipped with 4 powerful webbed feet, the platypus. Those who have ever abandoned or rejected should seek the wisdom of the platypus. She was created under a blanket of dishonesty, judgment, and betrayal, brought into a world as a result of true, honest, but devastating love. No matter how old we are, we instinctively look to our parents as our primary role models for confidence and guidance in all areas of our life. But what if that guidance is absent or predisposed by traditional values or beliefs? Values or beliefs inappropriate for today's world. Platypus is not only committed to honoring her mother's heartfelt desires to see the people emerge with peace and love in their hearts, but also to empower all women by reminding them of their worth, wisdom, and their role as sorcerers, individuals charged with power to create within them the dark recesses of their wounds. She works to free all women of guilt and oppression, to reinstate their connection to the source. If the platypus has swum into your cards today, you are being prepared to realize, understand, and embrace the potency of your own intuition and higher levels of knowing. A creature that swims with her eyes shut, the platypus listens to the heartbeat of the Mother Earth for direction. She looks to her inner yin and yang for guidance. This, finding the strength needed to make her own decisions. She honors her innate masculine and feminine qualities, knowing she is more than capable of navigating herself through life without the support of others. She is being urged to trust your own judgment, direction, and endurance. This is the wisdom of all women, the ability to trust in their intuition and to consciously act with purpose. Women are natural dreamers, visionaries, and mystics, but they must embrace their masculine aspects in order to realize the full potential of these gifts. Oh, I like that. Oh, I like the platypus. The platypus is actually, one aspect of the platypus reminds me of one of my favorite critters, the Niffler from Harry Potter.
Right.
I love him. He's so cute. You know, the one thing that they pointed out with the platypus is that when it comes to women, we are very much undervalued. We're always put down about something. We're always blamed for something. We tend to get blamed, especially when men cannot perform. And I mean in several different ways. Like it's our fault that they can't do what they are supposed to be able to do. And it tends to be easily. And the thing about it is, where society has literally been taught to blame women for everything. Well, here's the thing. We're also taught, women are also taught to blame themselves for everything, especially if their own child goes and does something that is against the law or something like that. Well, what did I do that made them do X, Y, and Z or something? No. We are in a society in which we got to stop blaming the mother for every damn thing. And we got to start taking freaking responsibility for our own selves, okay? Quit blaming others and start taking your own damn responsibility. Ladies, we have a lot of power, and we need to start realizing that, and we need to start taking care of ourselves, because we have the power to be able to do so much. We need to start realizing who we are and depending on ourselves and trusting our own instincts, and pretty much ignoring the people who still say, well, it's your fault, for things that are not our fault. And literally just kind of grinning. And when people say, well, I'm sorry, but I don't like you because of, X, Y, Z, or this, that, or whatever it is, and just turn around and kind of grinning at them and say, well, you know what? That's okay that you don't like me, honey. That's perfectly fine. We know you don't have any taste, so that's okay. No big deal. And just walk on and take pride in yourself. That's pretty much what the platypus is telling you. That you're good. You're okay with who you are. Just take pride in that. It's okay to be a woman, because society needs to get their ass straight. All right. That was a long one.
There was a lot of information in there.
Oh, yeah.
And I hope that was useful to the people watching this now and in the future.
Yes.
Well, we're going to close things out with our Yule spell.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really pleased with what we're doing today, because this is something that is very appropriate to Yule, but it's appropriate to many other situations. The spell was inspired by Rachel Patterson on pathos.com. And actually, I've left a lot of it intact with just a few little variations that, to me, make it a little bit more universal for what we're doing. Her original spell was intended to be done on the first day of the year. And I'm adjusting this a little bit because I think it's a good general spell. Several months ago, talking with a few of our Voodoo and Hoodoo practitioners, we talked about the rituals of sweeping, getting energy out of your house. This ritual looks at that, but it also looks at bringing energy back in, which I think is important. You don't want to leave a void, which will be filled with whatever. You always want to apply your intention. So our goal is to take the negative energy, we're going to send it out the back door, and then we're going to invite the new energy we want into the front door. It's very easy to do at home. You can adapt this to your own style, and it doesn't really need much in the way of materials. All you need is incense. It can be stick incense, cone incense, resin incense. You can use a scented candle. You can use a dressed candle, which is what I will be using. You want to have a holder for these things so that you're with the incense sticks, you could probably get away with holding them in your hand, but everything else you're going to want to have an appropriate holder. I'm going to assume that you've got a way of dealing with all of this. So we're going to open up the back door of the house and windows if you can. If you are in a situation where you don't really have a back door, say you're living in an apartment or something like that, pick an outgoing portal and an incoming portal. So you may open a window for one thing or the door for one thing, and a window for the other. Decide what makes sense to you. But think about this as opening the back door and the back windows. And then we're going to start at the front of the house. We're going to light our candle. And we are going to go into each room. We're going to walk anti-clockwise, Widdershins. This is the direction we use for banishing. So we're going to walk around with our light, with our incense, and we're going to banish these negative energies. Waft the smoke or the candle scent, the candle smoke, even if you can't see it, it's letting off something. As you walk counterclockwise and say, as the old year fades away, clear out the negative energy today. Or words to that effect. If you have a way that you prefer to say it, maybe something that's more consistent with your own language or your own practice, do whatever you want with the words. But the idea is we're sending this energy away. And it's okay if you're not doing this at the end of the year or the beginning of the next year. The year is always fading away. We're always moving further and further to the end of that. But again, if you want to change that language, do it. So go to each room, working your way around each room. Go upstairs, downstairs, and you're going to finish by that back door or that exit portal that you've decided. And then stand at the portal and say, out with the old, the bad, and the debt, so mote it be. And picture clearly this negative energy, these burdens, these dark entities, these dark energies that have been closing around you. Picture them being ushered out through the portal. Right? Doesn't matter where they go. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. That is your message. Be gone. Now close the back door and the windows, and then you're going to go to the front door. Again, if you don't have a front door exactly, whatever portal you've set up for that. And we are going to do the same sort of exercise, but this time we're going to go in a clockwise, dazel, bringing the positive energy in. When we use directions in spell casting, Widdershins, anti-clockwise is banishing, sending away, and dazel, clockwise, sunward, if you will, is attracting what we want. And as you go through the rooms of your house again, you're going to say, a new start, a new road, bring money and prosperity to my abode. And work your way through each room, work your way upstairs. And once you've done every room, leave the candle, leave the incense burning safely if you wish. I think that's a good idea anytime you're doing a spell, to let that energy reverberate a little bit. If for some reason you can't do that, it's appropriate to put it out, to snuff it out. Don't blow it out. Make sure you snuff it out with your fingers or with a candle snuffer designed for that purpose, right? Easy to find. And you're going to leave that in a central place, or maybe at your altar, someplace that feels to you like the center of your home. What matters? All right? Some of you may put it next to your television. Now, go next to the front door and imagine those energies that you were attracting, the intentions that you were doing. Imagine everything you want to pull together and the energy of this fire providing transformative strength to your intentions. See these flooding into your home in the same way that you saw the negative things flying away. And say, blessings of prosperity are welcome to this house. Make it so. And close the door. When we closed the door in the back, we were saying, that which is left, stay away. And as we close the door in the front, it is a ceremonial action of closing this door to invite those energies in and encourage them to stay. I'm going to leave this candle burning for myself, as I've had to do this exercise in my head with you. We couldn't really walk around my house today, but contemplate the candle, contemplate the energies you have let go, and truly let them go. Let them be gone. And look at what you have invited to you and truly welcome it. Truly be at peace with having it around you. Right? Don't do that little thing we do where we invite something to us and then it wears out its welcome. Right? Don't do that. And this is a very, very easy thing to do. And I hope that it brings you the prosperity that you want. And if for some reason you don't feel like you're fully open, if your lens is dirty right now, if you are not clear, then look for allies. Nikki and I are your allies. All you got to do is reach out. But we're not the only ones. We all have allies that are with us. Even if they're not your neighbors or your friends, the gods, the goddesses, the entities that surround us and take an interest in us and transcend humanity, they are there for us. And they will welcome us reaching out to us. You're never alone.
Well, thank you, Saul, for that. That was awesome. And that's all for our show today. So join us next week when Saul and I will be chatting with Heron Michelle. So get your vaccinations and boosters and support each other. And keep your fuzzy babies, your family and friends, and yourself safe. And have an absolute magical Yule.
I know some people who like to chat. I think they're witches, how about that? And every Sunday at 12 o'clock. And if you're hurting, they're willing to talk. Nikki, Kirby with that black stone. I agree, Evermoving We Rise. Laughing so will the beautiful mind. I give you blessings under moonlight. I know some people who like to chat. I think they're witches, how about that? And every Sunday at 12 o'clock. And if you're hurting, they're willing to talk.